This is a Philadelphia outward bound expedition here with MBA Academy. We're here to ask some questions about why people are here. Just sort of see why this whole Occupy Philly thing is going down.
Okay, so what is your personal motivation for being here?
My personal motivation for being here is, all right, so with the food prices, with the gas, we're relying on the gas now, and to get the gas, we have to use American dollars to get the gas, but the American dollar is constantly devalued. It's created and loaned out at interest. All currency in circulation originates from a loan. Like, this was created by the Federal Reserve, but sold to our government at interest. We have to eventually pay them back. So we have to eventually pay them back 20 plus something else. But where am I going to get that money from? I got to get it from him. He's got to get more money from somebody else. It creates this musical chairs game in which all of us are clawing at each other trying to get the money. And that's why there's, you know, people starving and all that. And it's I'm not trying to bring us into a socialism kind of deal where it's like, but you know, some quasi-socialism would be cool. I mean, like, we should like try to help out people that aren't doing as well as us. But anyway, there's people up at the top grabbing way too much. I mean, what are you going to do with millions of dollars a year? I mean, like, you're sure you got to take care of yourself. It's okay to poverty, you got to have your job and all that, but it's just excessive. It's just way too excessive. And I don't want to put limits on what these people are doing because, like, you know, I like the whole point of the capitalist game that we're playing is the idea that if you have the motivation, you should be able to make more than other people that weren't motivated as much if the profit game is what you want to play. But every time you profit, someone else suffers because there's only a finite amount of money out there. And as long as they keep pumping more money into this situation to make, you know, just to make up for everything, then the money that's already out there devalues. So everything, which is good for people in debt, because if you owe like $60,000 and then we go into massive inflation, then the $60,000 is worth like a loaf of bread, so it doesn't matter. But if you have the money, if you have money saved, so anyway, like, if you're in debt, it creates more debt, and if you have money, it creates more money. Why not stay in the middle? Go for sustainability. You can live like that forever. Just like grow the food and like trade whatever you got for it, just keep going. Stop worrying about trying to outdo everybody and get all, you know, like, next question please. I'm sorry.
Why do you think Occupy gatherings are important?
We can't just sit on Facebook all day and complain about it. We got to get out there and do something. Like, we're trying to show that, like, hey, we're not alone here. We're not crazy. We've got people with a voice. Oh yeah. So, like, you know, you have a voice. You got to get out there and express it. So there's the people sitting at home watching it on TV. Not that they put this on the mass media TV, but if you go on the YouTube and you see that it's happening, it is happening. And you know, I got the email about this like months ago, but when we were on day 8 in New York City, and I saw it on YouTube, and I was just like, oh my god, I completely forgot. And it's a good thing that we have people out there with cameras, like, getting this stuff, because NBC and ABC, they're not really doing it. They only do it when somebody's doing something stupid and the cops beat them up to make it look like, oh, it's all just a bunch of hippies who don't really do it, you know, but we're more than a bunch of hippies. I mean, like, well, what are the hippies about? They're about love. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with, like... Next question.
Okay. How long do you plan on staying here?
20 minutes. No, well, the beauty about this is it's kind of decentralized. It's up to every individual to come in and they go as they please. But as a whole, all of us are not leaving until something is done. It's just like, hey, we are here and we are not going until, like, it's at that point we're so mad that, like, it's just an emotional thing at this point. It's just like, yo, people are like. You don't have to walk that far to find a guy who is starving, like, and he doesn't have anywhere to go, and like, he's going to die in a couple weeks or months if we don't do something. Is that real? It's really happening. This isn't a joke anymore. It's not funny. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
What is the coolest thing you've seen here?
Say that again, please.
What is the coolest thing you've seen here?
I want to say something positive, but I want it to be better. I want some more people, and I want some of the guys who, we're already past noon, so these people got to wake up. Like, we showed up here, we're like, I guess Occupy Philly is closed right now. I mean, there's some people awake, but we got to get more people. If you're watching this, get off the couch, just show up, represent yourself. If you think the people that you're watching are all crazy and stuff, why don't you represent the people that you hang out with, you know? Like, you're complaining that we're not speaking for you, but that's because you're not here. there's general assemblies happening in which the people come together and they try to figure out, okay, so we know what we don't want, and that's why we're here, but what do we want? Well, we got to come together and agree on that. Like, it's up, like, back in the day, we used to get together and vote on stuff, and like, so then we created the Republic so we could elect, since all of us can't come all the time, so you got to find somebody who can speak for your group, and he represents you. That's what a republic is. Democracy is like mob rule. If you have like a million people around and they're all trying to get heard, then it's not going to work. So you got to like find some people to represent your crew. I mean, we got the food people, we got the oil people, we got the end the Fed people, we got the legalized pot people. I mean, like, there's all these different groups, and if you don't feel like you're being represented here and you think we're a bunch of nuts speaking the wrong thing, show up or call someone who cares and get them to show up, because 99%, that's a lot of people. So we need to include everyone.
So, what is success for Occupy going to look like for you?
I'm scared to death of this, because through the mass media, they could easily create some kind of false flag victory in which they could say like, hey everybody, we fixed it, everything's cool now, and everybody's like, oh wow, it did something, all right, and then they go home. And like, we don't want that to happen. We need some real change, and we need to see, it's going to take some time for that to actually take effect and be visible. You know, like, so what do we want? Like, you know, more regulation, less regulation, more taxes, less taxes, like, you know, we're still trying to figure out what it is, what we want, and what our demands are. And are they going to listen to us? Are they not? I don't know, but the social aspect of what's going on here is really important, because people at home are watching, they're like, oh my god, people are pissed off. There is something wrong here. Oh, wow, I guess things aren't cool. Wow, look at that. Oh, neat. We'll see all these kids on the news talking about, Alright.
Okay, so, not about the topic, but do you have a joke or a quote? Or a joke?
Or anything else that you would like to say?
When I was in high school, I plagiarized the Thomas Jefferson quote because I had to do it for some project, and I didn't have time to look it up, so I just made up a quote and attributed it to Thomas Jefferson. So this is my fake Thomas Jefferson quote. Yeah, it's on sedition. It's a dirty man to say dirty things about his country. 'Tis a dirtier man to silence him. Thomas Jefferson.
That's cool.
So anyway, freedom of speech is real. I mean, you need, there's restrictions on it, you know, no fighting words, no racist, you know, like no hate crime, you know, like, so freedom of speech isn't completely free, but it's within reason. I mean, like, if you, we gotta keep that going. Like, it's like, you ever see that sign of that dude saying, like, God hates, it's just like, there's a group out there who's saying a lot of, I don't know, but then there's this other guy who has a sign just saying, like, you know, like, it's, freedom of speech works both ways, you know, like, you're going to see some people out there saying some things you don't like, but you have the power, every single one of you have the right to get out there and say what you think, and that's awesome. We got to keep that. That's one of the cool things about the deal that we got here, if that is still part of the deal. So what's up with the Constitution? I mean, like, it looks like on paper we got a pretty good deal with what's going on, but if you look at the de facto, I mean, like, how things are actually happening in practice, it's pretty far from what we have written down on paper. And so we gotta like say like, hey, hold on here, like this is what we're supposed to be doing and this is what's going on. Can we try to fix this somehow, you know? And like, there's a lot of people working on that, like how far we are from the Constitution, that's a whole other thing.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.